Good morning and welcome to Morning Outlook. Apologies for a slight delay in getting this out to you today in terms of post 8 o'clock. I normally try and get it beforehand. I had a bit of a problem with my audio this morning, so it seems to be fixed. So let's go. Looking at the euro dollar first, and well, let's come back to the dailies here. It's a bit of a mixed bag actually. On Friday, managed to get it got oversold. It's worked that oversold picture off on the from a sort of 30-minute point of view. More than worked it off. Ended up with this sort of little hammer candle there. Pushed now into the daily 50. Looking from there, well, we've also got there's a whole combination of moving averages around this area. My preference would be to continue in what was it on this 4-hourly picture, a series of lower highs, lower lows. Aside of what we've just done here, it would appear that we've got a minor a low here, so we've got slightly a higher low now. It may be switching. If it can break through this 4-hourly 34.50 etc., well, it's to me it's on the bullish side. If it holds back, I mean, it may just break into that daily R1 first, so maybe worth being a bit steady. I mean, if you're looking at you've got timings to buy beforehand, fine, but if it breaks, runs into that, it might give us a bit of divergence. Early this morning, we just watch how it runs off. I'm just watching it now. May even give us it earlier, sooner rather than later. But a break of the trend line may give us the sell, but it certainly gives me the idea of the sell point here. It's I would be looking then back towards the daily pivot at some point, but for now it's as I say, it's looking, I say, mildly strong, gently strong, running in back into the resistance above. It looks like it might even break that, might marginally break it and then pull back within, so that's the thing to bear in mind. In fact, the daily 50 is still marginally ahead as well, so that could tie up nicely with that R1 pivot, but that's what I'm looking for at the moment. If it breaks that, we could be back into heading towards the alternative trend line I've drawn on here, which sits across the more recent high there. So we've certainly broken the original trend line there, and we could be going in to do, as I say, more upside from that perspective. Either way, I think it may end up in this sort of range for the month, but who knows at this moment. The pound, so I'll go down to the pound here, and well, the same picture, almost went back to the original lows there. Put a hammer in at the moment, looking edging on the sort of more bullish side here as well. Similar thing, broken the given a little a higher low sort of in this time frame, and again pushing up at the moment, but wary of these early morning shoves that we see around about 8 o'clock lately. They tend to go for a bit, take out the prior highs and roll over, or they may just push on a little bit longer. So I'll just sit and watch this as well. At the moment, I haven't got an immediate buy point from personally. I could look at lower time frames, it might have developed something, but I should just give this a little bit time, even in up to 10 o'clock. I mean, it was quite late when we started seeing a move go, secondary move there on Friday, so we're seeing this quite a lot in terms of the secondary moves, often quite late in the day there, so we'll see, or morning should I say. Okay, so where to from here? As I say, most likely, well, if we get a rollover, I'll play it to the pivot. Otherwise, we're looking towards that daily R1. Dollar yen is starting to edge up again. It's got a weekly pivot below. May just want to come back towards and test that at some point. Shooting star into Friday, which corresponds with the bullish candles elsewhere. So just see how, if this does just break down this morning back towards that weekly pivot, there's a possibility. Of course, the probability is quite good. Aside of that, well, it's the 21 may provide support on the way down there on the 4 hours. If it does, though, it's putting a lower high in, so it's sort of changing the shape a little bit. It hasn't moved quite the same way as the pound and euro in terms of some of the patterns that are sort of rolling there, but it's a little bit inconclusive where it's sitting at the moment. If it finds support off this monthly pivot here. We could be pushing back up towards its daily L1, maybe Friday's highs at some point, but a little indecisive at the moment on that one. Aussie dollar, well, it was selling off okay. Friday we saw the hammer coming in there. Thursday actually pushed up quite well. Friday it's give us the hammer. Could be edging back towards the monthly pivot at this rate. So look at the shorter time frames. Again, it's very bitty. It's been chopping one side, then the other side gets choppy again. It's chopped around here. It looks a very choppy market. I still wonder if there's further downside to be had in these the likes of these Aussie and New Zealand dollars. We'll see how we go, but the shape here at the moment, well, a bit inconclusive. It may be no, it's not diverging on the RSI. May have a bit of MACD. No divergence whatsoever there at the moment. So potential with these high low last Friday to what we saw on the Wednesday, Thursday coming through. So trying to maybe edge up. It broke. There's an inverted head and shoulder sort of pattern kick in there. Never really dipped very much on the right side here, but well, we'll see how it goes. But now it's sitting into that daily R1 and reacted off it so far. Now got an untouched daily pivot below, and it may come off for that at some point and properly start selling towards that. So there we go. Let's have a quick look at the Canadian dollar here. While we go here, the Canadian dollar stalled a little bit here. It was pushing up at one point last week. It stalled, and again similar picture to the inverted Aussie dollar here, really heading south at the moment. And well, into the weekly pivot, it's if it breaks this sort of area, maybe it will trip down towards that 200. Looking down to the time frames a little bit more, so we've got daily pivot above again. It can be quite unreliable on a daily basis, and probably well steered clear of today, but it'd be nice if it had some other support. Maybe that flattish 200 may hold it with a weekly pivot just above. If it gets back above there, it may continue shoving up there, but I'd like to see a correlation through these markets. If this is pushing up, I'd like to see the Aussie the Aussie coming down, the euro coming down, and the pound coming down, the overall inversion of this. So that's that. In terms of news today, we've got just later today, we've got 1:30 really. I'm just looking at the nearest, it's 1:30 is the first news. We've got core retail sales for the US. Can be a volatile report, so, and the Empire State Manufacturing Index coming out around about the same time. So at 1:30 may get a bit of volatility. And if you follow New Zealand dollar, 11:45 this evening, we've got inflation. So we'll see how that runs. It's expected to come in around about 0.5. So compared to 0.5 last time. So no significant increase there. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great one. Bye for now.